The quiet suburban neighborhood of Willowbrook has always been a safe haven for its residents. Neighbors waved and chatted amiably behind white picket fences. Children played in the streets, their laughter echoing through the air. But everything changed when the Thompsons moved into an old Victorian house at the end of a cul-de-sac. John and Emily Thompson were an enigmatic couple. Tall hedges and overgrown trees hid their property from prying eyes. Rumors circulated among the neighbors about strange noises at night and shadows behind the curtained windows. Only the first incident, however, confirmed their suspicions. One crisp fall evening, Susan Anderson, a young mother of 2, was walking her dog as she passed the Thompson house. She noticed movement behind the drawn curtains and stopped. Her heart raced when she saw John Thompson standing in the dimly lit living room, looking directly at her with a sinister smile. Susan quickened her step, her anxiety growing with every step. But barely had she rounded the corner when she heard a low, eerie laugh that sent shivers down her spine. This incident did not leave her indifferent, and she shared her story with her neighbors. Fear began to spread like wildfire, turning the close-knit community into a fortress of suspicion and paranoia. Days turned into weeks, and the once harmonious neighborhood became a breeding ground for fear and distrust. Night after night, eerie sounds came from the Thompson house. Whispering, scratching, the sound of dragging chains. The whispers grew louder and louder, fueled by a growing imagination and growing anxiety. Determined to get to the bottom of it, a group of neighbors led by Susan Anderson and Michael Johnson, a retired police officer, decided to investigate the Thompsons' mysterious actions. Armed with flashlights and shaking with determination, they gathered outside the house one moonless night and peered through the windows. What they saw made them breathless with horror. The living room was decorated with macabre works of art, paintings depicting tortured souls and grotesque figures. On a makeshift altar surrounded by flickering candles, macabre rituals were performed. The worst fears were confirmed. The Thompsons were not only eccentric but possibly dangerous. Determined to end the malevolent presence that had infiltrated their neighborhood, the group devised a plan to confront the Thompsons. Armed with evidence of their sinister activities, they confronted John and Emily in the cold light of day. The couple's facade crumbled, exposing the depths of their madness. John Thompson's eyes glittered with insane intensity as he revealed his twisted motives. He believed he could use dark forces to bring power and control into his life. Emily, once a loving wife, became ensnared by his delusions and was unable to break free from his influence. The confrontation escalated into a terrifying battle of wills. John and Emily, driven to despair, unleashed a barrage of supernatural horrors upon the group. During the nightmarish confrontation, the neighbors confronted their deepest fears, manifestations of their own anxieties and insecurities. But united in their determination to protect their community, they fought back on survival instinct. Michael Johnson, drawing on his past experiences, confronted John with unwavering determination. The tense confrontation culminated in a climactic battle that finally broke the evil power over the neighborhood. The Thompson terror ended, leaving behind a community forever scarred by its ordeal. Neighbors, though the horrors they witnessed changed their lives forever, emerged from the ordeal stronger and more united than ever before. The scars left by the evil neighbor served as a reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind even the most idyllic facade. Willowbrook began to slowly heal, and its residents to rebuild the broken bonds of trust and friendship. As the seasons changed, children's laughter resumed on the streets, and white picket fences became a symbol of resilience and community. And while the story of the evil neighbor will be retold for generations to come, it will also be a testament to the resilient spirit of a neighborhood that defies darkness. In the quaint town of Ravenwood, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, the arrival of a new neighbor was always an event. When the Murphys moved into the old Victorian house on Elm Street, the townspeople greeted them with warm smiles and freshly baked pies. However, they did not yet know that their new neighbor, Mr. Nathaniel Blackwood, was not what he seemed. The Murphys, a young couple with a baby boy named Lily, settled into their charming cottage with hopes of a bright future. They were enchanted by the scenic beauty of the town and the hospitality of its people. But their happiness was short-lived when strange events began to occur in the town. It all started with a whisper in the night. Mrs. Murphy, unable to sleep, heard quiet conversations coming from the house next door. Her curiosity got the better of her, and one moonlit night she ventured out the window. What she saw chilled her to the bone. Mr. Blackwood, whose face was obscured by shadows, was talking to a group of cloaked figures in the backyard. Fear descended on her like a suffocating fog. She told her husband all about it, who considered her fears paranoia. But as the weeks passed, the whispers grew louder, and Lily began to experience night terrors, screaming about a dark man visiting her dreams. Desperation gripped the Murphys as they delved deeper into the mystery of their enigmatic neighbor. Armed with determination, they began researching Mr. Blackwood's biography and discovered a trail of darkness and malice behind him. City records uncovered a whole history of unexplained disappearances linked to his presence. When the Murphys shared their findings with the town's residents, a sense of unease prevailed in Ravenwood. Rumors began to spread about Mr. Blackwood's eerie rituals and hidden underground chamber. Fear and suspicion grew, and a group of brave men, Murphy among them, formed a secret alliance to uncover the truth. One stormy night, the members of the alliance gathered outside Mr. Blackwood's mansion, their hearts pounding with anticipation and fear. Armed with flashlights, they moved through the maze of tunnels leading to the underground chamber. Their determination to uncover the truth gave them strength, even when the darkness seemed to close in around them. What they discovered surpassed their worst nightmares. The chamber was decorated with sinister symbols and grotesque statues. There was an evil energy in the air, and the sense of dread increased. Suddenly, Mr. Blackwood appeared, his eyes glittering with unholy fire. A terrible battle ensued, in which all the forces of the group were thrown to fight the evil neighbor. Spells and weapons were used, and the echo of the clash of wills echoed through the hall. Lily, guided by otherworldly forces, played a crucial role in weakening Mr. Blackwood's power. The confrontation reached its climax as Mr. Blackwood's powers waned, and his true form was revealed, a twisted, monstrous entity living a life of fear and suffering. Despite his desperate attempts to hold on to his power, the Alliance's unwavering resolve weakened his hold. In a blinding flash of light, Mr. Blackwood was banished, and his sinister presence was finally destroyed. When the dust settled, Murphy and the townspeople left the hall, fatigue and relief red on their faces. The darkness that had enveloped Ravenwood for so long had been vanquished, and the citizens had regained a sense of unity. Ravenwood met the dawn of a new era. The Murphys, dubbed heroes, found comfort in the fact that they had protected their town from an evil force. Streets once shadowed were now flooded with light, and the townspeople united to heal the wounds of the past. Although Mr. Blackwood's story will be told in silence, it will serve as a reminder of the strength found in unity and courage. The town of Ravenwood grew stronger, and its residents forever bonded together through the shared experience of confronting the darkness that lurked in the neighborhood. In the heart of the forgotten town of Hollowbrook, nestled amid ancient trees and crumbling tombstones, lay the Whispering Pine Cemetery. It was said that the very ground was cursed, an unholy ground where dark rituals had taken place centuries ago. On a moonless night, a sinister omen appeared. A blood-red comet streaked across the sky, casting an eerie glow over the cemetery. Unbeknownst to the townspeople, this celestial event marked the beginning of a malevolent force's resurgence. As the days grew shorter and the nights colder, a sense of unease settled over Hollowbrook. Whispers of strange occurrences and eerie sightings spread like wildfire. Animals began acting skittish, and people reported hearing unnatural sounds in the dead of night. Among them was young Sarah Adams, a curious and fearless teenager who had always been drawn to the mysteries of Whispering Pine Cemetery. One fateful evening, Sarah ventured into the cemetery with a group of friends, fueled by a thirst for adventure and a desire to prove the existence of the supernatural. Armed with flashlights and a sense of invincibility, they wandered through the tombstones, laughing and exchanging ghost stories. Little did they know that their actions would trigger a series of events that would unleash an ancient evil. As Sarah and her friends playfully conducted a seance near a weathered mausoleum, the ground beneath them trembled. Unbeknownst to them, their words and actions had awakened an infernal presence. a devilish entity that had been imprisoned within the depths of the cemetery for centuries. The earth cracked open, and a foul, acrid odor filled the air. With a burst of unholy energy, the devil emerged, its grotesque form cloaked in shadows. Its eyes gleamed with malevolence, and a sinister grin spread across its nightmarish visage. Sarah and her friends screamed in terror, their flashlights flickering as the malevolent force surrounded them. One by one, they were ensnared by its dark power, their voices silenced by a suffocating dread. News of the disappearance of Sarah and her friends spread like wildfire throughout Hollowbrook. Panic gripped the town as a series of unexplained and gruesome events unfolded. Crops withered, animals perished, and a sense of impending doom settled over the once thriving community. Whispers of an ancient curse resurfaced, and a group of determined townspeople decided to confront the malevolent force that had been unleashed. Among the group was Jonathan Baker, a seasoned hunter and occult enthusiast who had encountered supernatural entities before. Armed with knowledge passed down through generations and a deep sense of responsibility, Jonathan led the charge to rescue Sarah and her friends from the clutches of the infernal devil. Guided by ancient texts and esoteric rituals, Jonathan and the group ventured into the Whispering Pines Cemetery. The atmosphere was thick with malevolence, and the earth seemed to writhe with dark energy. As they neared the mausoleum where Sarah and her friends had vanished, the devil's laughter echoed through the night, sending chills down their spines. A fierce battle ensued as Jonathan and his allies confronted the devil in a showdown of epic proportions. Spells were cast, weapons were brandished, and the very fabric of reality seemed to fray. The devil's power was formidable, but the group's determination to rescue their loved ones and protect their town gave them an unyielding strength. With a deafening roar, the devil unleashed a torrent of dark energy, sending shockwaves through the cemetery. The ground trembled, and tombstones shattered as the two opposing forces clashed. Lightning arced through the air, illuminating the night with flashes of blinding light. Jonathan, his heart pounding, channeled his ancestors' strength and summoned a torrent of pure energy. With a mighty roar, he launched a devastating attack that struck the devil with unparalleled force. The air crackled with power as the devil howled in agony, its form flickering and warping. The battle reached its climax as Jonathan, his strength waning, made one final desperate push. His body thrummed with energy as he unleashed a cataclysmic blast, engulfing the devil in a blinding explosion. The very ground shook, and a shockwave rippled through the cemetery, shattering the infernal presence. The blinding light faded, leaving behind a smoldering crater where the mausoleum once stood. The cemetery fell silent, the malevolent force eradicated by Jonathan's sacrifice. His body lay motionless, his life force spent in the battle against the infernal devil. The townspeople gathered around him, their hearts heavy with gratitude and sorrow. With the devil vanquished, the curse that had plagued Hollowbrook for centuries was finally broken. The town began to heal, its wounds slowly mending as the crops flourished once more, and the animals returned to their lively antics. Jonathan's sacrifice was commemorated with a memorial in the heart of Whispering Pines Cemetery, a symbol of the town's triumph over evil. Hollowbrook emerged from the darkness with a renewed sense of hope and unity. The cemetery that had once been a place of dread was now a symbol of triumph over adversity. The townspeople, their bonds strengthened by the shared experience, rallied to rebuild their lives and their community. The story of the infernal resurrection would be told for generations, a tale of courage, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Hollowbrook's legacy was one of resilience and unity, a testament to the strength that could be found in confronting the darkest of nightmares.